And we're talking about parts, assemblies, and systems because everything we want to do in the world of automobile, it boils under systems. It have different systems. Even if in the next 100 years, if you want to do anything, you start with system. We have brake system, we have different systems. That's why I want us to have that knowledge. So even if you are working on this, I say, Chima, what are you doing? You know the system. If you are working on brake system, steering system, any system at all. First of all, we'll be talking about parts, assembly, and automotive systems. Let's start with the parts. Number one, parts. At least let's assume as a layman, what do you understand by the word parts? We've been working every day, we work every day. You see other people work. What do you understand by the word part? In your own language, in your own understanding. Let's just flow. It's an interactive session. You, okay. Okay, that's a part. Well, we all are correct, but the little knowledge I know about parts, a part, a part is the smallest removable item in a car. Smallest removable item in a car. You cannot disassemble a part. Anything you disassemble is no longer a part. I want us to have this knowledge. You can go for an interview anywhere. Smallest removable item in a car. That is what is called part. Removable item in a car. Anything you disassemble is no longer a part. A part is the smallest removable item in a car. For instance, spark plug component, an ignition system that ignites fuel in the engine. So that one is just a part. You can't remove it. You can't say, man, lose here. So when they say this part is bad, just know any small removable item in a car. That is what is called a part. Are you hearing me? I use spark plug as an example, but spark plug falls under ignition system component. So you must know the difference between component 2 and a part. Component is frequently used when relating to electrical or electronic parts. So most times when you say a component is bad, as a technician, you know what they mean. But a layman can just say that part. No, there are times you use parts. There are times you use components. I'm saying this for most of us that tomorrow you want to go in implement somewhere, anything, you go for interview, you get it wrong. So most of the times when you hear the word component in this field, just know they are always used when relating to electrical or electronic parts. Are you hearing me? It's important you know these things, you know these terminologies. Because every system, every organization, every field have their own language. So you must know when it comes to automobile, the word component, parts, all these things, you know when to use them. A layman will just come, no, with that part, they say that no. You know when you are talking about a component, you just know. So let's just have that understanding. And it's number 2, assembly. Assembly. Just generally the word assembly. What's our understanding about assembly? When you just go somewhere, they say the word assembly. What do you think? Most of us go to church, we have different organizations, one place or the other. What was the knowledge you have when someone tells you what is an assembly? Yeah. No, generally, and just any you can use. Okay, that's a good one. Any other person? Well, you are right. For most of the times, it must have a purpose of that gathering. Hmm? Any assembly, any gathering, they just come and no purpose. I feel you can't call it an assembly. Are you hearing me? What you said was very right, but I feel generally the word assembly, maybe gathering of people for a purpose. Maybe they came for prayers or one meeting or the other, but it must be for a purpose. If it's not for a purpose, just everybody just gather. No, can't say it's an assembly. When this our contest, an assembly is a set of fitted parts designed to complete a function. Remember, I told you the definition of a part, smallest removable item in a car. But an assembly is a set of fitted parts designed to complete a function. Are you hearing me? It must complete that function. Late my tomorrow always say when purpose of a thing is not known, abuse becomes inevitable. So that gathering of fitted parts to complete one, it has a purpose. So if that purpose is not met, then something is wrong. That's why I say a set of fitted parts to complete the purpose, a function. Now, you because of what I said now, somebody can just go now and bring this, ah, bring steering rack, bring this, bring another thing all together and add and expect it to work. If it doesn't work, just know that you've gotten it wrong. It must complete that purpose, that function, that reason. Are you hearing me? So let's take it to heart. An assembly is a set of fitted parts. Are you hearing me? Designed to complete a function. It's important we know all this. Let me just write it down. An assembly is a set. That these things are supposed to be dictating itself because of our time. An assembly is a set of fitted parts designed to complete a function. For example, the engine is an assembly. Are you hearing me? The engine is an assembly that converts usable fuel to power, into power to move a vehicle. Are you hearing me? The engine is an assembly. That's why many a times during servicing, repairs or maintenance, you can take away some parts. Then during complementing, you can put them together to still serve that function. So I want us to get it clear. That's why I started with parts to know what a part is. Now we are talking about assembly. I use an example as the engine. Bring engine down now. You know you can take out this when doing repairs. Then later you put them together. It will still serve that function. Are you hearing me? It's important we know all this. And lastly, we'll be talking about automotive systems. When we talk about automotive system, is a group of related parts and assemblies that performs a specific task or function, a job. Are you hearing me? A group of related parts and assemblies. That's automotive system. So you must, if you are right, you underline the word related. they must have something in common. That's the general word for automotive system. A group of parts and assemblies designed for a specific function. So they must relate. If the things are not related, there is no way they cannot perform any function. It's very important we know all this. You can use if the steering system, for example, the steering rack, even linkage, steering wheel. When you bring them together, it can help you when controlling or maneuvering. Any when you want to maneuver, you can control your steering. But if you use one or two other things, let's say in the steering system now, you now add one or two things from the engine and say it will not work. That's why I say it's a group of related parts and assemblies to perform a particular function, a specific function, a job. It's important we know all this. It won't be far from you, or when they're telling you, you might go any other place. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. You go to the fellow interview. These are, you think, you want to go. They want to say, go bring engine down. They want to say, go check short circuit. These are simple things they can just bring up. And you'll be confused. You think, when you hear it on that place, it will be strange to you. These are the fundamentals. So you have to know these basics. If not, you have a very big challenge in this field. So that's where I'm coming. Anything you do in automobile, it falls under these categories of systems. Are you hearing me? It's important to know them. So it won't be strange to you when you maybe you troubleshoot, you scan a car, it's showing P so and so. Tomorrow you scan another car, it's showing B so and so. Tomorrow you scan, you see C. Tomorrow you scan, you see U. So know where all these things falls. So it will be very easier for you. Then you know what you are troubleshooting. If not, you have a challenge. Are you hearing me? Number one is the power train. Power train system. Inside the power train, we have the engine, we have transmission, we have the engine, we have the transmission. That's why you see P code. Once you are scanning a car, you see P code. Just know that P code falls under power train. Are you hearing me? It could be transmission, it could be anything, but once you are scanning one or two, you're trying to troubleshoot the car, but once you begin your scanning, due to one or two things, you see P code. Just know, I'm troubleshooting the power train system. Are you hearing me? Don't just say if you scan, him bring up everything you see there, him bring see, you don't know what the system you are working on. So once you are trying to troubleshoot the car, first of all, once you scan, if it's C, you know what you are doing. Are you hearing me? The power train system, we have the engine and the transmission. And number two, we have the body control system. Our body control system. Inside the body control system, we have the heater and AC system. We have heater and AC system. That's the B code. Once you are troubleshooting anything, you see B code. Know that system falls under body control. We have the AC, we have SROS. Supplementary restraint system, that's the airbag system. And we also have the security and lock system. You can go on your own, you can do more discoveries. But under the body control system, you have the AC, you have the SROS, you have the security and lock system. Are you hearing me? So once you are troubleshooting any vehicle, you see B code, just know, okay, maybe from far or you go anywhere, your director, the workshop manager asks you, what are you doing? You say, I'm working on this system. You already know the system you are working on. It won't be strange to you. Are you hearing me? It's important we know the reason why we have this B code. Then number three, we have the chassis system. chassis system. Under the chassis system, we have the brake, we have suspension, we have steering, we have drivetrain. You can discover more on your own. Are you hearing me? You have under the chassis system, you have the brake system, you have suspension. That's the C code. You need to know all these things. So you need to know these things. If not, you'll be confused. Because I've seen many scenarios, many cases that technicians will bring vehicles to us. I say, okay, systems are no work. Oh. When you discover, it will be a code reader they will use. And they will see a code P0500, vehicle speed. And they'll be confused. Okay, I don't scan them, don't they work? You get the way this gear they do. But when I scan them, now P0500. The next thing you ask, what you don't do now? I don't go. I change this sensor. I change the vehicle speed sensor. And yet, nothing, the motor never still move. Them that never move. And they'll be confused. Why? Because they don't have clear knowledge of how that system works. So whenever they come to me, I will only laugh. Because 70% of that P0500, if you have a good scan tool, after they tell you, when you scan the powertrain, you see that P0500. But if you go down to scan in the chassis system, when you scan the brake system, you see a code PC0200, front right wheel speed sensor. That's the difference between you and them, because you have clear knowledge. But another technician will scan a car and see P0500. Many times it could be the vehicle speed sensor, but 70% of all of them go to ABS. You see a code C0200, front right wheel speed sensor. You must see that code. Are you hearing me? That is different between you and them. Or we have some scenarios like older vehicles, 99, 2002, 2001, Forerunner, Sienna, who's an RS 300. You see those codes. If you don't have that knowledge, you just choke. And you think you don't know what you are doing, because even if you use a scan tool, even a professional scan tool, you see P0500. It cannot communicate with the ABS system, and you'll be confused. So you must know how to manually retrieve code.
Excuse sir.
Yes, sir.
So sorry, you made mention of older vehicle like Sienna, RS 300.
Forerunner, yes.
All these vehicles that you bring together fall under Toyota. So are you trying to tell us that that code is only assigned to Toyota's vehicle?
No. I've
So-
just used an example.
Or the 4 vehicles you mentioned was Toyota generally.
But let's us, you still see those codes now.
What
RS
is also
300.
Toyota?
I know. Some other vehicles too. I
Okay.
just give an instance, but I say 70% of P0500 code.
Okay.
If you think it's just the P code, you are working on powertrain, you will miss it. If you check most of those codes, you go to chassis system and you see a complaint, you see a C code. That's why I'm talking about chassis system. So you will not get it twisted, you will not confuse yourself and say, no, nah. Within many places they will change the vehicle speed sensor, not to have a speedometer will not move.
So when we see P0500, does it mean that it's basically talking about the right speed sensor?
No.
We know that the right speed sensor is always in charge of the speedometer.
Yeah.
But if you see P0500 in other cars, even without scanning the chassis, should you just go directly to the right front speed sensor?
No. I said that's why I said 70% in most cases.
Okay.
It's not all cases. Some cases will be the vehicle speed sensor, but it's always rare. Based on these cars, I just give you, just as you said, like Toyota and the rest of them. Once you see P0500, just don't jump and change the vehicle speed sensor. 70% of them is from the ABS when speedometer is not working. Mainly when speedometer is not working, that's when you see that P0500. So you have to know this. And those other vehicles, if you don't know how to retrieve code manually, because even if the highest bit scan tool, even if you use touch screen, you can't enter ABS system. So don't say, ain't teach me now, or I'll say, we'll go enter ABS. So now, if those cars now come to you and you don't see those codes, you don't see anything because some of them ABS will not communicate. 98, 99, 2000, 2001, it will not communicate. So if you don't have, but the only that will communicate is the engine, powertrain. You will see that P0500. You will start looking for the sensors. That's why you need to study. You must know all these things. Those cars, you just have to know how to manually retrieve codes from them one after the other. The important we know the system. Yeah, with time you see many vehicles like range and the rest of them. You see sometimes one or two faults before you know you see C code, B code. If you are confused, you just nothing stops you. You just write everything. P code, C code, everything. Why one module can be the cause of all those things. Before you know, you just write. You'll be confused. You don't even know what to do. But once you know, then say key light they blink. What could it be? It's on vehicles. Don't just rush and conclude it's brain boss. That's the engine control module. No. That's why it's on when you scan, you can scan the engine control module. You might not see code about anti-theft, immobilizer system. Then once you go to the body system, you see a B code. Your mind will not tell you, okay, everything that they do now falls under this body control. It's important we know how all these systems work. Anything you work both today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, they fall under the system. You can't scan any vehicle far from all the systems. So you must study. It's more than what we are doing, what we are saying. You must study to know. When the Bible says, study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman that did not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. In this field, you must be approved by God and man to stand out. I have to tell you the truth. If you don't study, if you don't know, forget it. It's not magic. If you don't know it, you don't know it. It's not today. We see you go tap wire here. You don't want to go to wine diagram. You don't know how the system works. Maybe this component, you don't know, it takes voltage. Even if it takes 12 volts and ground, there are sometimes that particular component just need a 5 volt reference to work. But if you don't understand how all these systems work, there's what we call Agama in football. Those days, I want to play, but where they play 7. You go raise and they play 10. That's like, Sabiam, you just, no, it's not like that in this field. The one time governor of this state say he didn't today. Okay, if you know now, you know now. Let me tell you the truth. Try and go tap fire. This is what we need to move for. I've seen 2-3 times they've called me for some jobs. When I go, the ECM is bad. What happened? I'd say current supposed come, that 5-pin or 6-pin mount. I just they touch them before can't even start again. They call you that your car cannot throttle. You because of that mentality. Current suppose dey 1 voltage. I've been just use the wire. Who for ya? They touch am. Even they can't even start again. Carry them call you for. Because you don't have the knowledge. Once you study, once you know, this system works this way, it will be very easier for you. That's why you must study. It's more than just know. If you don't know it, sir, you don't know it. Igbo people will say, hey, Riji or Uji. It will resemble yam, organo be yam. If it be cocoyam, if it be 3-leaf yam, if it even be cassava, or no be yam. Are you hearing me? So I want us to know these things. So tomorrow, if you are anywhere, I ask you, hey, what are you working on? You know the system you are working on without stress. Even if somebody is telling you this, you tell them, so organ, no. We'll see in cases where somebody will just come. That's why many times, if I go to work for you or you come, is that telling me, I went online. They said this could be the fuse. This could be, come and check. 2 seconds, I will climb your head. And it will look as if this guy, you are, I don't know. You can't tell me, and I check Google. Then say check fuse. Then you waste your time. You check all the fuse in the front. The next thing, you check fuse back. You are wasting your, no. So once you know, once those kind of persons come, you go say, okay, no worry. What's your complaint? You just hear the customers complain. Once you hear the customers complain, the next thing you have to do, okay, when did you start observing this? You end it there. Inside of you now know, so okay, let's complain with your scan or diagnosis, you know the system you want to work on. So you won't start to, from you are going to chassis system, you are going to body system, you are going to know. You will know the system you are working on. So even if you want to diagnose the car, you know where you go straight. Some person generally once they want to diagnose car, they'll just press everything. Sometimes it's not bad to get every report, the health report. There are times once you know the complaint, you will know straight system you want to go to. You start from there. It makes it more easier for you. Please let's have clear understanding how all this anything you work in automobile they fall under the system. And the last one is the communication system. You want to say something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
You made mention of brake system.
Yeah,
Now, if you're working on the brake system, or you made mention of immobilizer.
yeah.
Now, yeah, the car did not start. A customer called you and complained that the car is not starting, which a customer will not even know what is an immobilizer system. Some customers don't know. Then you go down and find out that the immobilizer light is showing.
Hmm.
Even when you put the key, there's no signal. The light is still blinking. That shows that the car is not cranking. Or sometimes, most times, the car will crank, it will not start. Most cars, like American cars, it will not crank at all. So now, when you want to diagnose, you want to run a diagnostic, why is it that the powertrain, which is the number one you mentioned, always get the information first? Because is it not possible we just go to the immobilizer direct without going to the powertrain? Now, for example, you made mention of the brake system. You made mention of P0500, which usually comes to powertrain alone. But you are not going to get that P0500 under the brake system. So I want you to break down that understand. I want you to break it down so that we understand why is it that the powertrain on its own usually get any information, anything that comes up under the brake system, body control, chassis, powertrain will first of all get the information. But the code there will be different from the one we are getting on the main fault we want to diagnose.
Okay.
You understand me now?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you want to check the immobilizer.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the powertrain to show you immobilizer system, to bring up one code P0 something immobilizer system. Now, if you now go to the immobilizer on its own to show you under code,
Yeah.
which
B
falls under
code.
body control, to show you B code,
Yeah.
B something. That's when you now start troubleshooting from. But to throw more light, the body control will throw more light on it. Immobilizer system short to the immobilizer system communication, or sorry, the can line communication of the immobilizer. It will throw more light for you to understand that this is where I'm going to. But under the powertrain, to just show immobilizer system only. So why is it like that? Why is it that the PCM, which is the powertrain, always gets this information on any angles first before other component that we want to troubleshoot?
Okay. Thank you for that question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that question. But I have to be frank with you, it's not in every case that the powertrain gets the information.
Okay.
Because for you to say powertrain, no, it's not every case. There are some vehicles that will have immobilizer issue. Powertrain will not show you the code. I've gone to places, powertrain will not show you immobilizer. But once I go to body control or security, in the security system, see the code. It's not every scenario. That's normal. There are sometimes when the powertrain even get to know if it's the fault from the powertrain or from the body control. That's why you scan immobilizer system, you will know, you will now check. But as a professional, as someone that is well trained in the field, it is advised for you to go under the body system, the security system, either the mobilizer system, any of the system. Once you go there and it communicates, and it stops you from then you go to your data stream. You see how many keys registered. You in your data stream sometimes in some scenarios you see if the keys are accepted, like for instance as passive anti-theft. It will tell you that you will know if the fault is from the powertrain or from the security system. Some of all those vehicles, once you go now, to show you key not registered based on your when you go to data stream. But we'll come to that gradually. We'll come to that. You will know this fault is from powertrain. You will know the one that is from security system. There are some. Once you go to all those ones, the keys, all those are registered automatically. You will know that it's from the powertrain. Because many a times the powertrain, that the brain box can have an issue too. It will show you engine immobilizer. But in this case, it's not every time the powertrain have the signal first.
Why I ask this question is that I want you to throw more light so that they will understand that in most cases all vehicles are not the same.
Yeah.
All vehicles are not configured the same way. And even the same vehicle, the first generation to the fifth generation are not configured the same way.
Yeah.
What I mean by generation is a car that is produced 1999, they follow the same pattern to 2002. Then from 2002, they follow the same pattern to 2005. That's the second generation. So don't think that the first generation. I just want you to throw my so that you know that even the first generation of the same pattern of car, like example Corolla, Toyota Corolla, the first generation is not even wired the same way they wire the second generation. So even if it's the same model of car, their wiring diagram cannot be the same. So you know when you made mention of powertrain and the PZ500, you will now go to so they will always want to get a code from the brain boss, which is the BCM or ECM. So I want you to throw one like but which they have understood.
And with time, no,
Thank you
with
very
time
much.
will flow. And thank you very much. And okay,
There was something you were saying about filling code manually for user accounts.
yeah.
I'd like to know
Okay. And there's not everything. We'll get to that place. We'll now to cross it. Let's as many day I'm taking us on brake system. Hmm? How to troubleshoot brake system, speedometer system. That's when then I'll go there. Because the car has to be there. I'll tell you where and where you will go. The DSC connector, you go to DSC connector 1, TCIe 1. So it's not here. When that time reach, I will show you, I will give you a clear example of those ones. How you can retrieve code manually from some vehicles. So you can work with them. And the last one, we have communication system. Communication system. Communication system. That's the last one. That's where you see the U code. Sometimes you go and scan a car, it won't communicate. Most of the code you see to be U code, U code. Just know it's communication system. But sometimes you see lost communication with 2 or 3 modules will be complaining about one module. Lost communication with you see a U code. That's the communication. And in the communication system, we have the CAN system. We also have the LAN. The CAN system stands for Controller Area Network. You hearing me? The CAN system stands for Controller Area Network, and the LAN system stands for Local Area Network. But they work together to achieve a goal. Are you hearing me? So know the difference when you're working on a communication system. Every time that cannot they communicate, just know you want to troubleshoot communication system. So, but we'll talk on all these things one after the other. So you know when a car has a communication issue, when one module is not communicating or the other, or generally all the modules are not communicating. But you must know how all these systems work. So you just have to know when you want to troubleshoot on the CAN system, the control area network. From my little knowledge, these are the big boys. The CAN. Then the LAN is local area network. Just in Nigeria today, we have City Boys movement. So we can take this to be City Boys movement. City Boys movement. And it's the LAN, we can take them to be the. Haven't you heard about Village Boys? Village Boys movement. It's important to know. But in this scenario, this one they work together for one purpose to achieve something. But in this case, we don't know. But you are just watching at them. We are looking at them in this Nigeria to see if any good will come out from both the City Boys or the Village Boys. Are you hearing me? So it's better we have clear understanding. Anything you are doing, just know all falls under this system. It's for you to know gradually as you begin to progress, you begin to know how each system functions, how the brake system, how steering system, how they work together. I mean, at times through the CAN communication, they work together. That's why sometimes you'll be driving a car. Before you know, use the steering light will come up. For example, a Lexus, and the steering will be stiff. Nothing stops you to say, my steering done bad. I've seen those cases. To go and change the steering. Steering rack also for highest. Why? Do you know many at times it's just the ABS that has a malfunction, maybe 1 or 2 speed sensor. Because of this communication now, if you don't understand it now, you go to Zoga, Your sharing don't get problem. Are you hearing me? So that's why you need to know more about the communication system, how cars communicate these days. That's why even in some vehicles today, modern vehicles, because of even one powertrain code, you will see both traction control and different lights that will come up. Why? It is because of the communication system. It's important we know how all the systems functions. If not, we'll be carried away. Everything we'll be doing throughout. The far automobile is concerned falls under these systems. And if you don't know how all these systems functions, or yours is your case, so you're on your own. I have to be frank with you. So you must study, you must tell yourself, no, I didn't come here to play. I must know how all the system functions. Because we must not stay together forever. You might be lucky tomorrow you have one or two engagements, one or two appointments, one or two interviews. Once they start talking on this system, you already know, you just laugh. Other person will just be answering, because but once you know each system, maybe come, you know where you are going to. This cannot start to, they don't put down computer. They say needs anything. You just know, you want to go and troubleshoot. It's about communication. You now know what and what. You, from that your communication now, you now know if you want to go to CAN or LAN. I've seen people communication issue, they'll start going to the LAN system. No. But once we have that lesson about communication class, so you will know. Once it's communication, the high and low campus, you know where you are going to. All in you need, that's why you know more about wiring diagram. For a wiring diagram, you just know that is a communication system. The high can and low, you say, okay, can high, can low. From your wiring diagram now, you must know they have all terminating resistors, where it starts from, where it ends. So with your wiring diagram now, everything that falls under the high can high and can low, you now go from there and start troubleshooting. So there are issues too in these new modern cars that comes under the LAN system. Sometimes you see lean issue. So you don't have to waste your time going to troubleshoot can high and can low. It's important you know how all the system works. But when we get there gradually, as we progress, I'll be showing you all these different systems, how they work. Are you hearing me? This is just a way of introduction. So you just have that mentality. Just build yourself and say, under this system, I need to know when they talk about communication system comfortably, I know where I'm going to. I know what and what is not communicating, what and what is communicating. If it is from the can high or can low, if it is from the city boys or village boys. When it comes to body, so you just know. If not, you'll be like, then they cheat you. So nobody they cheat you because you refuse to learn, you refuse to study. You must study, Oga. No, if you're not able to study, then forget it. You can't stand out in this field. You must on your own, you must study, you must learn new things every day. Are you hearing me? So I want to any of us who have questions, just feel free because I'm just running up. So I have one or two appointments. But for today, this is just the intro. You understand? So you know the systems we'll be working on. Are you hearing me? This is just the intro. Everything you see that doing today, they fall under the system. Nothing will fall outside the system. Eh? So, but if you have a question, yes, sir.
I have a question. I always have a question.
Yes, sir.
It's not that I'm trying to interrogate.
Yeah.
I'm asking this question because I want them to always, because I know that they're not going to ask this question I'm asking. I want you to always explain to them so that they will understand how the system works. Now, you made mention of in any vehicle, that means all vehicles are included.
Yeah.
No one is exempted.
Yeah.
That this system, these four systems
Yeah.
must fall under.
Yeah.
Are they all these let me assume all these cars that are produced from 2020,
Yeah.
you from 2018, you started hearing something like radar,
Yeah.
DCM, DSM,
Yeah.
lane parking assist,
Mm.
what was it called? Rear
Blind
radar,
spot monitor
blind
and the
spot
rest
monitor,
of
all the
them.
rest of
Yeah.
them. Now that's from 2018. They started introducing it.
Yeah.
Now
On 15 self.
are these systems, all of them, both the power steering, body control, chassis, and communication system, which is the can high, can low, which is the lane
Yeah.
system, are they also
Yeah, they fall under.
the same category? Because these cars now, if you notice, You know, sometimes when you scan a vehicle, when you're checking, you see BCM, engine control module, transmission,
Yeah.
BCM, SROS, and all that. Might
Yeah.
fall out and see like 6 or 7
Okay. Cool.
code,
Yeah.
which falls under all these things you mentioned.
Yeah.
But in these modern cars now, if you're scanning, you see like 30 something, not code, 30 something modules that are to be scanned.
Yeah.
And you keep wondering, are all these cars, are all these 4 categories you showed, which is the powertrain, BCM and chassis, communication, and communication system,
Yeah.
are there also others? There's another extra line that I've added to it that we are not aware of. Because when you check, you see that you are scanning a modern vehicle, you are seeing the 38 modules to be scanned. You are seeing sometimes you are seeing 15, you are seeing 18 to be
Yeah.
scanned. Please
Yeah.
throw more light on that.
Okay. That's a good one. That's why I just brought out my phone. Most of the time I use it to scan. Hmm? If the camera will face it, or for every one of you to see. What are you seeing here? Is it not U0267? Eh? Are you seeing it very clearly? This is lost communication with image processing sensor. This is a Lexus. This is a Lexus 2018 RS 350. Not many times I use my phone based on emergency to scan. So this is a U code. Is did I talk about communication? It's not here. It should come. Then this code now, this other code, front camera current malfunction. Is it not C code? It falls under the chassis. That's why I say you should study. That's why, like here, I put ETC because of space. Here, I didn't put ETC because as time goes on, new things will come. So you just have to adapt. You have to adapt, but everything will fall. This other one now, you see blind spot monitor beam axis inspection incomplete. You see C1AF9. This is a C code. It still fall under chassis. You can't see K code. You understand? You can't. There's no way you see a K code anywhere. Are you hearing me? This is an example now. This is Lexus 2018 350. Now, what are you seeing here? Lost communication with image processing sensor C. What's the code here? U0267.
Exactly. That's where I'm going.
You understand me? Then now, this is another one. Blind spot monitor beam axis inspection incomplete. Talking about the blind spot monitor, both the master and slave.
Which is,
Maybe
you're talking
it's
about
having
the
issue.
mirror.
No, the radar,
Okay,
the
radar
back,
at the back.
the blind spot monitor.
Okay.
We have the
Master
master and
and the
slave.
which is driver side and passenger side.
Then now, what are you seeing here? Is it not C1AF9?
Yes.
It still fall under chassis.
Okay.
There is no way in this life you will see K code. You will see K code. Any code you want to see, once you put your scan to, it will be P, it will be B, it will be C, and it will be U. For now, we don't know what will happen tomorrow. But for now, even 50 years ago,
For now, sorry sir. For now, under
Mm.
gasoline and diesel
anyone,
not EV and electric.
put EV.
What about electric? EV and hybrid. Sorry,
Hybrid is not vehicle.
I know.
Yes,
Is it this component? Is
they,
it at,
they will still fall under.
fall under
They will
them?
still fall. You can't say because one EV vehicle, all of a sudden they will now go and produce a J code.
So
No, this is word of
looking at it
automobile.
as telling us now that this is the fundamental,
Yes, these are basics you need to know.
the fundamental originated this let me say fundamental system for all vehicles.
Yeah, it wasn't gathered here. Years ago, it was gathered by SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers. Some things you see. So they came together and say, okay, see. So that's the standard. Are you hearing me? Sometimes you see, that's the standard. They came together and say, okay, came to argument, see, okay, this one fall under, not just on that person, different set of engineers. That's most you see SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers. They came together and put some standards. The world of automobile. So far automobile is concerned, you work under this. You can't go outside it. You have electrical system, other systems, there's no problem. But every system fall under here. Even the EV vehicle, it must have either powertrain, it must have body or chassis, it must have a security issue one day now. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, anything will have issue, it will fall under P, powertrain. If their security have issue, it will go under body. They have brakes too, it will go under C code. There are times when you have, maybe when we have water ingress or some places are corroded in some joint connectors and everything, you see a communication code.
Yeah.
You can't run from all these things.
Lost
So once you
communication will be
uh
lost communication
so
will be
once
lost
you know
communication.
how all the system functions, it will be more easier for you. When you get anywhere, just stand back. People they all tell you, you don't do am. They'll think, hey, this guy now selling and carry or guy, you know carry jazz. Because you know. Are you hearing me? You must study to know. That's why I always like the people like Daniel in the Bible. Daniel studied. Most testimonies you heard about Daniel in the Bible didn't come by chance. He didn't just nothing. There's nothing like luck. He was intentional about his life because he studied. If you check Daniel chapter 9, from verse 2, he was talking about an eye, Daniel, through books understood. He had understanding. He read it and he had understanding. That's why most things that happen in the book of Daniel wasn't a surprise to him. That's why he came to the conclusion in Daniel chapter 11, 32b said, those that do know their God shall be strong and do exploit. If you don't know, you can't do exploit. Or guys, if you know, you do exploit. Though this is just a carry. I know carry jazz. Yes, and now we've gone to places. I've gone to one of the places. They say this guy they use jazz. They work. Why they don't know? Not just the system. I know how the system functions. I have a clear understanding of my wiring diagram. I know when there's a short circuit, I can troubleshoot an open circuit. So I will not waste my time. They will think, you just say, you don't deliver. They will say, no. I've gone to the work. Somebody saying, as one man from our bind or they come every day, they come every day. Now we have to say the man don't mad. To them, they visit and a lie. Or cannot be jazz. You know now, you know now. If you know, you know. So that's why you must tell yourself you must know. Irrespective of what is happening in this country, or we know there is challenge everywhere. So don't be carried away by challenges of this life. Because nothing is new under the sun. Someone says nothing new under the sun. The thing that has been before is the thing that will be. So don't think you're the first person to trek to work every day. Never eat. No.
I'm
You
suffering.
must tell yourself the truth. If you want to stand out. Why you don't know this? Because
I no go
in
school.
because no oga, you have your phone, go online, check some things. But have clear knowledge, have clear picture. If you want to go, hey, now wire diagram be this. Let me there are some vehicles, in every vehicle that brings out the same wire color. Sometimes you see this component from here to be blue and white. You get to a joint connector, there will be a splice. Before you know it will turn to yellow and this thing. So if you don't have that knowledge, you will now tap one voltage. Okay, I don't see am na blue and white. You will now tap am here, you can't go to the other side, go dey find voltage dey touch. But if you don't have but if you have that knowledge, you just know say okay, once you go, you open your one diagram, you check. It makes it more easier for you. And God will help us. Any other question?
What about those cars that have different manufacturer concepts? For example, like a particular Corolla. This is a 2009 Corolla. We all
Yeah.
know that it's 2009. But in that same 2009 Corolla came to you
Yeah.
for a repair, and you diagnosed and repaired it. Then maybe after some time, another 2006, 2009 Corolla came, and the system there is very different from the one you did, and there's both of them are 2009 Corolla. How will you troubleshoot?
Okay, well,
Because in some cases we hear this is Europe,
yeah,
this is Asia,
yeah.
and this is America, and this is Japan, this is South Africa. All of them, they are 2009 Corolla, they fall under Toyota manufacturer. But the manufacturer concept outside the body and the engine, their wiring systems, security systems are not the same. In that cases, how we get troubleshoot?
Okay, thank you very much. You are very correct, but 90% of Corollas 2009, 2010, they are wired the same. 90%. First of all, I will tell you to understand how every system works. Based on these systems, once you know, let's assume that the wiring is not the same. But once you know how this system works, that's the most important thing. Know how they bring this car come today as scanners waiting the shoe. In fall under which system? And what does it take? First of all, you must know that system or that component or that thing you are doing. What does it take to work? What does it take to function? So it's not about maybe Canada or this or this. If I know how the throttle body functions, it will be easier for me to troubleshoot. But if I don't know, I will just carry that mentality of I do Canada. No. Many of them individually know for yourself how each system works. So that's why when sometimes you hear person, actually it's good to specialize in one vehicle. But if you know what you are doing, like me, I'm into multi-brand. I do different vehicles. I go my friend, I say, no, I don't fit touch Benz. I say, waiting be the thing. Once you know how the system functions, you have your wiring diagram. You know when there's an open circuit, you have to troubleshoot a short circuit. Any car, even if you are asleep, now you come in, which car be that? Carry and come. Once I go, I know, because I know chassis, communication, body, powertrain, I'll just calm down. Okay, what you say happen to the car? You complain, you know they start. This is I say, okay. What does number one? You know they start without any knowledge of that car, whether na Canada or na Panya, or from Cotonou, Oga, car no dey start. What does it take for a car to start? That's the first thing that will come. You understand? Let's assume even without the scan tool. As a technician, you can start from anywhere. So I don't have to wait if it's from Canada. It's only in some delicate cases where you need wiring diagram. That's when to choke, which is rare. But once you know this system, okay, man, let me go. There should be spark. I'll just go to the coil. The why is Corolla, it must have that 4 wire. Some coil use 3 wire. But since that 4, you have terminal 1, you need a 12 volt there. I'll go and check on my ignition. I see 12 volt, I see ground. I see that igniter, this thing that comes with 4.something volt. I say, okay. I'll check for spark. If there's no spark, I'm just telling you as a layman, without the scan tool, which I will not advise anybody to do all those
Troubleshooting.
try and try this. But as a layman, no spark dey but I see ignition everything. The next thing, crankshaft position sensor, wetin fit make, understand where I'm coming from. So that's why we scan to it, makes it more easier for you. If I go to a car now, the car no start, I check ignition, everything. Next thing I will go, data screen, engine speed, cranking signal, engine speed. Once it counts 1, 2, 3, I know say I no dey go about cranking again. You understand? So you must know, okay, spark come later come. What next? Fuel no dey come. I start checking on the fuel pump from the current, is signal coming. What and what is supposed to come to the fuel pump? Once I check, then I now check, fuel no dey pour. I will know the component is bad. That's the fuel pump. If the current, everything is coming there, and the fuel is not, let's say from the tank, it's not automatically, the component is bad. That's the fuel pump. Then if it's coming out, you now know, okay, why? Maybe one hose. We've seen cases where hose will just bend under. We won't see enough fuel. Some cases these days they use tracker or security, those 3 minutes. Sometimes when they get bad, they can make their vehicle not to start. So, but once you know all these ways how to troubleshoot them, it will be more easier for you. So I don't have to wait for that Toyota 209. I just know automatically how this system functions. Even if it's not okay, they communicate. What could be? That's why I say in some delicate cases, it's always rare. But many times, they're almost together. To be frank with you, that's the knowledge I have. But just know for yourself how every system functions. What does it take for this thing to work? What does it take for a fan to come up? What does it take for AC to come up? What does it take for a blower? These are things once you know, okay, it needs power, it needs ground, it needs signal. These are things you look for. Once those things are there, you now know that component is bad. Except when he has there are cases we have because of communication issues. So you must know how communication issue works too. Sir, that will not work. Even if you see voltage there, you see ground there. But it will not work because of one or two things is wrong. Then you now dig deep. But generally speaking, sir, know how the system functions. When you go now, okay, when no they come, where they come, this one, you do elimination method. But we'll come to all that. Yes, sir. For my have I made it a little clear to you, sir? Eh? But
You should
it's
be asking
okay.
that question.
Okay. So, any other question? So we are just rounding up to do other things. I just brought an intro to us. This is just an intro. This is introduction. So what we'll be doing, everything we'll be doing here falls under this system. Everything will be outside this system. Whether brake, steering, or anyone. Are we okay? Hmm? Okay, so let's call it a day for today. We'll face other things. Thank you very much. Thank you, Primola, for the privilege giving me to speak. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank you very
welcome.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.